Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means despite what my bumper said until just 2 seconds ago. It's time for Jump Around, our weekly cardio class. So, yeah, sorry about that. Just, you know, there's a lot going on this week. And I hope you will all bear with me when things are a little weird and a little funky. And oh god, so echoey, so many echoes. Yeah, the move continues apace. There are even fewer things in here than there were just yesterday, which is wild. I am, oh man, a little tired, but feeling re-energized, feeling really freaking excited for new space, actual studio. So I'm not, taking over my living room every time that I need to teach. And just, there's just that energy that comes when you're like, oh my God, this totally new thing is about to happen. Holy crap. And it's cool. It's really exciting. Let me tell you, 2021 is delivering on a lot of things that 2020 promised me were going to happen and then went, just joking. So that's always nice when you feel like the universe is finally delivering on some things that you've been working on for a while. So yeah, hi everybody, welcome back. I hope your week's going pretty well. I am definitely looking forward to having class today, getting that midweek energy bump, which boy is just super necessary. It's really necessary, because the week can be kind of exhausting, can't it? And I'm definitely ready. I'm definitely ready for some cardio, for some fun. Sorry, don't mind me. Yes, it's week 2 of me not necessarily planning class beforehand, because you know what? I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. And that's okay. That's okay. You're allowed. You are allowed to have those days. Ooh, I like this one though. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a beautiful couple of days. Today was really foggy until like almost 11. And then it got super sunny in the way that Colorado usually does. It's always interesting to me because Colorado is so rarely foggy, because it's just so dry here, and so it was really nice to be able to sort of look out through a window and be like, the romance of the fog obscuring the mountains, which never happens either unless it's actively snowing. So yeah, it's been a lovely day, but if I'm yawning, it's deserved tiredness, but it's not going to change the fact that we're here to work out, and I'm really excited about it. Because, oh man, yesterday was my first, just moving my water over here. Yesterday was my first day back from my rest week, and, man, I was feeling that extra energy. I was feeling that excitement to be moving again, which is, part of the reason why we do rest weeks in the first place. Also because they're really good for you, but also because you can return to class and be super refreshed and be like, oh yeah, I did miss this. This is really cool to get back to. So I had that going yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit of it today. We'll see what happens. But yeah, welcome. If this is your first time to the stream, welcome. Today's Jump Around, it's our weekly cardio class. So it's a bodyweight class, and it's in the category of high intensity interval training. If this is your very first time, I don't want you to focus on giving me 120% or 110% or even 100%. I want you to focus on the bare minimum. And that is comprised of 3 things: starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. All right? If you focus on only those 3 things, you will get a fantastic workout, and you will enjoy yourself far more than trying to immediately dive into top performance in a brand new class and then going, well, that was miserable, I never want to do that again. That's not really, that doesn't help either of us. So yeah, bare minimum. If you are brand new or still in, I'd say, your first month, you can still keep focusing on that. As you get more experienced, that generally is the time when I start pushing people to challenge themselves a little bit more. But also, you know your own body and you know your own goals. And I'm just here in my living room talking to you through a webcam. So if you are just looking to maintain a current level of fitness, and bare minimum works for you for maintaining that level of fitness, go ham, my friend. Absolutely. Do not worry about it. A lot of people thrive with goal setting. A lot of people thrive with challenging themselves, but also capitalism has convinced us that we must constantly be growing. And really, the fact of the matter is, if you are happy with your fitness level and you're happy with your health, then it's totally fine to just be like, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna create an equilibrium here, where I'm still doing the activity, absolutely, to maintain that fitness, but I don't feel the need to push for 150% or what have you. That's also totally fine. All right. Sometimes I don't remember to remind you of that as often as I should. And I will try to be better about that, because I think it's really important. And it's important to have that message, particularly in the fitness industry, which is far too prone to boot camp approaches and shaming people and, hey, you should be working harder. Yeah. There we are. So, hey, let's get, ooh, wow, those are some great fucking block terms. I guess now is also a good time to say, hey, don't be a dick in chat or you will be blocked, banned, and reported. Basically 1 strike policy here, because I don't have time to deal with it. So, yeah. Don't be racist, don't be homophobic, don't be transphobic, don't be fat shaming people, don't be creepily sexualizing a person on the internet who you do not know, who's just trying to teach a fucking exercise class. If you can manage all of that, we'll get along. And if you can't, my beloved mod will ban your ass. Yay! Let's do our pre-class checklist. Okay. We got our water in whatever vessel makes sense. You're in your house, so you could be pouring water into, a sandcastle bucket. Gotcha. Thank you. I use my giant mason jar because it treats me well. And it's been really great at helping me to hydrate more effectively, which is something we all struggle with. And I talk about it a lot because I know I'm not good at doing it. And so, I'm trying to normalize talking about it. Reminding you reminds me. And just having this giant jar sort of sitting out all the time and just refilling it when I see it's empty goes a long way to reminding me to hydrate well. So make sure you have your water in whatever form it needs to be in. Make sure you're wearing comfy clothes, whatever that means to you. It could be, spandex and lycra and moisture wicking technology, or it could be a cotton t-shirt and some board shorts. Your call. You've got your mat or your mat-sized space on the floor, and if you use a fitness wearable, we can turn them on right now to high-intensity interval training. If you don't use a fitness wearable, don't worry about it. But if that is a tool that you have, again, I mostly put this in the pre-class checklist to remind myself to turn mine on, because there's nothing more frustrating than getting halfway through class and then being like, dang it, I didn't turn the damn thing on. All right. Hi, friends. We're here. We're almost through January. It's been a hell of a month already. And a lot ups, a lot of downs. So, yeah. Oh, no, I'm sure they were. Now that I know that it wasn't a person, I'm sure people were confused by my reaction there. So, don't worry. Apparently, I'm just seeing back-end commands. But, it never hurts to remind people of the requirements of the chat. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're here. We got everything we need for class. My feet are cold because it's wintertime, but that will soon change because we're going to start off with our warm-up. That's on. Yes. Good. Hey. Hey-ya. Awkwardly scooting my way over to my mat. Let's get this timer on. All right, so the same warm-up that I do across all my classes. So if this is the first time you've taken this class, but you've taken another class with me, then you're already good to go. Let's start on our mats, on our backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. And when we hear that horn go off, we will begin with hip rocks and bridges. Ooh, that was loud. I always worry that it's too loud. And then in the playback, when I'm editing, I always realize that I'm worrying way too much. Because I don't have a great sound system. I have, my laptop's onboard mic. And that's about it. So, yeah, someday I've been scheming about how to improve my audio setup. And obviously it's a little complicated for a stream like this, like I can't have anything attached to me, like a lav, like a wireless body mic would obviously make the most sense, but ooh, hey, my hips are enjoying that stretch right now. Nice. Yeah, but because I'm doing class along with you, it's not really an option to have a battery pack strapped to myself anywhere. So I'm probably going to do like a shotgun mic setup at some point, just something that can hang over the mat and capture audio that way. But yeah, lots of things to think about. Like, I know that you can hear me pretty well, but I know that you also probably have to turn your TV or your laptop up to really capture what I'm saying when I'm over here away from the laptop. Like, I don't worry about the audio when I'm sitting right next to it, but laptops are not, the selling point is never the quality of the onboard mic. That's not what anyone is focusing on when they're getting a laptop. It's not what I focused on when I got a laptop, so it will be, I think some continued scheming will be required, and we'll see what the best setup ends up being, because yeah, I want to make sure people can hear me more effectively, and that I don't feel like I have to be shouting across the room. That is really loud, though. All right, no, calm down. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's a lot less loud going over the mic than you think it is. But yeah, I want to make sure you can hear me. Because without that, a lot about this class kind of falls apart. And yeah, I'm definitely thinking a lot about how to improve quality and improve accessibility too. So I have not done like closed captions on my YouTube videos yet, but I think I need to start doing that in the coming month, just because it's important. It's an important accessibility standard, and I'm terrified to see what like auto captioning does on YouTube, which means that I will probably have to hand do the captions, which is also a little terrifying, just because, you know, that's definitely a not insubstantial amount of work that you have to do. And that's really intense, you know. I'm basically a one human operation right now, which means that, you know, there are a lot of things that I want to be able to do, but when it's just one person, don't necessarily have the time or the resources for. I do think that it is important for me to dedicate some time and resources to this. So I'm gonna figure out, maybe not this weekend, but maybe sometime next week. Just gonna start getting a handle on how to do closed caption setups for the YouTube videos. And so hopefully, if anybody needs that as a tool, hopefully that will start being available in the coming month. Hey, because, you know, again, I want everybody to be able to take these classes, and if you can't understand what I'm saying, well, that's a problem. God, I know I'm commenting on it a lot, and I know that I don't think that I actually sound as echoey to you as I do to myself, but I'm just so aware of it right now, you know. There are like so few pieces of furniture to soak up the sound in here anymore. Because all the bookcases are gone, and most of the big like tubs and boxes are gone. Everything that was hanging on the walls is gone now. There's nothing left on the walls, you know, and you just like, you don't think about how much sound those things soak up until they're gone, and suddenly you're just like, well, my voice is just endlessly bouncing off the walls right now because there's nothing getting in its way. So, yeah. If I keep getting distracted by it, I apologize. It's just really weird to be in the middle. It makes the apartment feel a lot more cavernous than it actually is, right? It makes it feel like really big, that there's this much room for an echo to be happening. It's not. It's not a big space. But yeah, right now I'm just like, hello, 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 over and over again. I'm sure I'll get over it soon. Well, I mean, there's not going to be that many more instances of this even being an issue, because only 2 more classes after this one in here. not forever. Obviously class will continue, just in the new space. But yeah, this is our 3rd to last class today in this space. And when you come back on Friday, it's going to be even emptier, because I think the last big pieces of furniture from out here are going to be heading off on Thursday, potentially. So, yeah. Woo boy. If you think I'm complaining about the echo right now, just wait until, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. when there is absolutely nothing in here except for me and my mat and my light kit. And I'm just gonna be like, are there ghosts behind me? I feel like there are ghosts behind me or something. Ugh. All right. Wow, the puzzle, it's just the warm-up puzzle pieces. Why are you already coming apart? Ugh. So frustrating. It's okay. It's okay. We make do with what we have, and we're still getting a good workout, but we can also identify the things that are more important to us versus the things that we really don't care that much about. Replacing these puzzle pieces is increasingly becoming something that I do care about. But it's okay, because right now we are doing just fine. All right, squats time. All right, how's that knee positioning? We haven't talked a lot of form today because I've been opining on my move. Ooh, points for opining. Always fun to use infrequently used fancy vocabulary. But yeah, check in on those knees. Make sure that they are going straight over the feet as you go down and as you stand back up. So if at any point you notice them starting to cave towards one another, then you may need to narrow your stance and practice there. Go, okay, yeah, cool, I can maintain here, and that'll be fine. And then, after you have some practice, you can widen your stance back out, okay? All right. There we go. Getting some nice hip stretches in with this one particularly. Remember, we want to keep our hips facing forward the whole time. So it's really easy when we stick that leg back, our hip goes, oh, I should follow. And then suddenly we're in a warrior two position. We want to keep those pelvic bones flat forward as if you have headlights on your pelvic bones. They should be shining straight forward the whole time and not opening out to the side, all right? And that's how you make sure that you're really stretching out the front of that hip flexor. All right, coming down into our nice upper back twist from this wide squat position, hands on the knees. It's really nice. It's really having the opportunity to not have to worry as much about maintaining that knee form is really nice. And also, I can definitely tell that yesterday we were doing held wide squats without the benefit of our hands on our knees, because, ooh, I am feeling some activation right now. So if you're feeling that too, you were in class yesterday, then, pat yourself on the back once you don't need your hands to keep your knees safely over your feet. Alrighty. All right. And we've reached the cardio section. Cardio section. Yeah. So, remembering that we're still not going for 100% energy output. We're still warming up. We're still booting up all these systems. So I'm doing bare minimum jumping jacks right now, keeping my elbows bent. I'm not jumping my feet super wide apart. And this is all I need to do to really start engaging the cardiovascular system a little bit more, getting my heart rate up a little bit, getting my breath coming a little bit faster. All right, this is all we need to do. We do not need to be going for full jumping jacks yet. All right, yet. Will there be jumping jacks later in class? Who knows? I don't think so, but I honestly can't remember. All right. Whew. And for our kick-throughs, remember that you can go as slowly as you need to, and there are a lot of form components, particularly as we're switching sides. And this is the reason why we don't want to bring the butt down towards the floor or have the knee caving forward, because then when we go to twist ourselves to the other side, we end up putting these really gnarly torquing pressures on our knees, and our knees are like, well, that sucks, think I'll have an injury, please. And we don't want that. So go as slowly and deliberately as you need to, okay? Do not feel like you need to be speeding those kick-throughs up, because again, we focus on form first before we start trying to add speed, power, intensity, etc. Before any of that, we focus on our form. All right, last but not least, everybody's favorite, the burpee. I'm trying not to jump on this crack in between the puzzle pieces, but it's very confusing because when I jump back into that plank position, I don't really have far to go. Come on. Alrighty. Good grief. All right. It's water time. Yeah. Let's do it. Much better. Much better. All right. We are warmed up, ready and raring to go, okay? And feeling excited. You know, it's cardio day, so there's going to be a lot of moving around, a lot of jumping around. We're going to stick with the traditional Tabata today. So we're going to be doing the 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest, and that's going to be our interval, which means we're going to get through a lot of exercises, because honestly, the traditional Tabata doesn't take that long. You know, even if I had 3 exercises and was doing each one 3 times through, on a traditional Tabata, that's only 4.5 minutes. And we're not doing any 3 exercise sets today. So yeah, we're gonna get through lots of exercises today, starting with our first 2. So our first 2 exercises, we're gonna have turtle planks. So y'all know when I say turtle, first thing, roll up on the shoulders, then up onto the feet like that. You can push up using a hand, but really try to build towards being able to just rock straight up on the feet so you don't lose the momentum. The momentum is super critical in this one, because what we're gonna do, roll, plant the hands, jump back into that front plank position, shoulders directly over wrists, okay? And then jump the feet forward and repeat. So we're just going back and forward between a plank and being rolled up on our shoulders, essentially. Then our second exercise are bicycles. So a nice core exercise. We are going to contract our abdominals, and through that contraction lifts my chest and shoulders off the ground. Then I'm going to have one knee coming into my chest, the other leg extended but off the ground. I have my elbows in front of me, bring one elbow to this opposite knee, and then switch sides, and we just go back and forth. So we're keeping our core engaged that whole time to keep our shoulders and our chest off the floor the whole time, okay? Alrighty. Hiya. Let's get going. I love a good Tabata timer because it means that the first sound does not mean go, which is always so satisfying. First sound is stop, think about your life. Then knock, knock, knock tells us to get in position. So the second we hear that fanfare, we are going. And again, we only have 20 seconds before this interval ends. So we really want to be on the ball. We don't want to be holding back or, going, oh, I'll let the whole fanfare go before I get started. Well, suddenly you've lost a huge chunk of that workout interval. So really focus. Again, starting on time means the second you hear that horn, you are doing the exercise. And that's why we have the knock, knock, knock sound, that one, so that you know to get in position. So as soon as that goes, you're moving, okay? The knock, knock, knock is our guide, basically. And then stopping on time is super easy as well. You just gotta keep going and keep going until you hear that ending horn, which should be happening right there. Hey! But yeah, so starting on time and stopping on time are super easy for the Tabata. The Tabata gives us all the information we need. And, as opposed to our perpetual motion sets, where we have to define both starting on time and stopping on time a little differently, these are really to the point. You start when you hear that fanfare, you stop when you hear that air horn. All right, so we're halfway through, which means we're going back into our turtle planks. And you want to make sure that you're jumping to that plank, not sinking into, oh, I'm going to start doing a wave push-up. So really try and focus on jumping just to the plank position, okay? And that can be a little bit tricky because that also feels like it arrests our momentum in a way that our body isn't necessarily ready for, So we're sort of rolling through this movement, and we're like, okay, jump back into that plank, and then it only makes sense that I go into that wave push-up. And on turtle planks, we have to be like, no, don't go back into that push-up. You jump your feet right back forward. So it takes a little thought in a way that some of the other ones don't necessarily. So pay attention to that because, again, turtle planks, we're using a lot of the strength and stability of our shoulders. to jump ourselves back into that plank position. So you want to make sure that you're in control the whole time. All right, and now your last run of bicycles. Do love this exercise. Keeping your hands in front of your head. Don't hold your hands behind your head because that tempts us to yank our necks in a way that's super unhealthy. So that's why I keep my hands in front of my face so I'm not tempted to pull forward on my neck like that, okay? Hey, all right. There we go. How's everybody doing? A good start to class, I think. Your breath's up a little bit, breaking a sweat. Yeah, good times. Good times, great oldies. Yeah. I do love this class. Hopefully you do too, since you keep coming back to it. That's always the goal, that you enjoy yourself here. All right, so our second set is going to be just one exercise. So instead of going back and forth between exercises, we're just going to have the one, and we're going to go through it 8 times, all right? So it may feel, you'll have to focus a little bit more. You don't have that variation to keep your brain engaged, so you're going to have to do more of that work for yourself, okay? And just make sure that you're still paying attention to what's happening. So we're going to do squat jumps. So we're going to take our feet in about a shoulder width position and squat down. Not super far. I'm doing maybe 45-degree angle. Squat down and jump, and we land right back in the squat. And we're just up, down, just like that, over and over, all right? And that's it. So, pretty easy. Don't worry about it. What could possibly be difficult about this? It's gonna be fine, see? And that sound did not mean go. So you have a little time, get your feet in position, get ready, and we go. Hey. So you want to land immediately in the squat. We're not wanting to land on straight knees and then squat down from there, because talk about being bad for your knees, okay? So definitely make sure that you're not jumping and then landing like this and then going down, okay? You wanna make sure that you are landing on an already bent knee and going immediately into that squat, okay? And that's just, you know, one of the many thousands of things that we have to think about when we're doing squats or anything that's super knee intensive. You know, our knees are really important to our overall mobility, and they get a lot of work because even when you're not in class, your knees are working. They're working every time you walk anywhere, you know. Anytime you run down the street to catch the bus, your knees are like, hey, hi, I'm over here. So we want to protect them as best we can, because they, when you don't have full use, full mobility in your knee, you will notice. You will absolutely notice. So we will focus in a lot on that knee form and making sure that we are being as safe as possible. Another thing to pay attention to, especially when we're doing like lots of jumping or running in place, is the surface that you're on. So the reason I have the puzzle pieces, even though they drive me nuts, is because being on this like wood laminate floor that probably has some concrete under it, it's just not a good surface for my knees. And so having the puzzle pieces helps to soften the impact, and that's incredibly important. So, you know, I like to talk about how you can do this class anywhere, and it's true, but it is also really important, if this is your usual space for this class, to pay attention, to be like, okay, what is the floor like? What is that surface like? Am I on carpet? Am I on wood floor? If I'm on wood floor, am I using a yoga mat? If I'm using a yoga mat, how thick is it? Do I need to increase the thickness of the surface that I'm on? Increase the softness to protect my joints? And you'll figure it out pretty quickly. You know, if you're doing this class on concrete, your knees will let you know super quickly when they are when they're like, yeah, you need to find a better surface to do this on. Okay, so things to think about as you do class with me. Oh yeah. What? Good, good, good. How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's a good Wednesday. Good Wednesday, my friends. Good day to be working up a sweat and just talking about planning and looking forward in the world, because I feel like most of us did not have the capacity for that in 2020, and that makes total sense. But if you are beginning to build that capacity back, you know, it's an important thing to be able to do, to look forward and to not be quite as focused on survival mode. And if you're still in survival mode, hey, I understand, but you're here, and that's a good first step, all right? So our next timer, we're gonna go back to 2 exercises. And the first one, if you own a jump rope, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, again, not really necessary. We can mimic it. So we're using an invisible jump rope. The beauty of the invisible jump rope is that I don't need to worry about whapping myself in the toes. And that's useful. And then the other exercise is burpees. And I know you know what you're doing on that, because we were just doing burpees in the warm-up. So everybody back on your mats. 2 pretty easy exercises to pull together, either because of ease of form or because it's an exercise we do each class. So starting out with our jump ropes. Again, we're just doing 20 seconds, so you really have the opportunity to push for a little more intensity, a little more speed. You know, these are sprinting intervals, basically, as opposed to perpetual motion class, where, you know, it's more of a half marathon approach. Today, we're really doing a series of sprints. So keep that in mind as you're going through, especially with exercises that don't have a ton of components to them. You know, burpees, there's a lot going on. There's going to be a pretty low upper limit to how many burpees you're able to do in 20 seconds. But jump rope, man, you can fit so many jumps. You know, that slaps top of Tabata timer. This baby can hold so many jump rope jumps. And I want you to go for that, okay? That's our goal. That is the beauty of this particular timer structure, is that we can really push ourselves and challenge ourselves in a way that we may not yet feel comfortable doing with longer intervals. And that's fine. Start here. Start in the 20-second ones. Each time we do that 20-second interval, push yourself harder than you think you can go. And if you need to pull it back on the longer intervals, that's fine, okay? But every time we do these, I want you to really think about pushing yourself, challenging yourself, and eventually you will get to that place where you're like, oh, I'm doing this longer set, and I actually feel like I could have challenged myself a little more. I could have gone for a little more speed, a little more intensity. So maybe next time I'll try that. And we sort of slowly but surely build our strength and our power up from there, okay? So that's what our focus is. That's what our goal is. So start here with the 20-second sets, and just as much as you can, push yourself. Even as we get farther into class and you're starting to feel more fatigued, I understand, absolutely. But also, I promise you that 20 seconds really isn't a lot of time. And you can get way more done in those 20 seconds than you think you can. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get to the end of that set and be like, oh, wait, that was it? That was all I had to do? Well, that felt really easy. And that's really exciting. Not always. Sometimes there are exercises that just feel like they trip us up. Honestly, those squat jumps that we did earlier are definitely one of those exercises for me where I feel every second of those 20 seconds when we're doing squat jumps. So if you have exercises like that, know that that's totally normal as well. But learn, challenge yourself, push yourself, and learn more about what exercises you're ready to go for more of a challenge, more intensity, more power on, and what exercises you're like, all right, I think I'm still building my foundation on this one. I don't think I'm quite there yet. And the more knowledge that you build up, the more intelligently you will be able to work out. And the better your workouts will feel, because you have a better grasp on what exercises you're like, okay, I know I can challenge myself on this, and what exercises you're like, all right, I need to, I need to go a little easier on myself for this, all right? Okay. Next, Tabata. We are going for just one exercise this time, and it is going to be turtle jumps. Yeah. So, turtle jumps. Obviously, we start here, and then just jump, and back, and jump, and so on and so forth. All right? So, super simple, honestly. And again, that momentum is going to be hugely important to our ability to perform the exercise. So do the best you can to be able to get to that place where you can roll directly up on your feet. If you're not there, you can push yourself up using a hand like that,
Or I've had clients who will like bring one knee down and push up there as well. That's the least ideal from my perspective, just because, again, you lose all of the momentum if you do it like that. And that just makes the jump harder, because we're jumping from basically a frog jump position. But when we have the momentum from the roll, that jump is a lot easier to manage and doesn't feel as difficult. Whereas if I'm just trying to jump from that squat position, it's going to be a lot more labor intensive on my legs and on my knees, because I don't have the benefit of that momentum. So just keep that in mind. And again, you know your body best. Not everybody has the flexibility in their Achilles to be able to roll up onto their feet like that. And that is totally fine. But it gives you something to work towards and to be like, okay, I'd like to get to the place where I can roll up onto my shoulders and then roll straight up onto my feet without feeling like I need to stop. And again, that gives you a goal to work towards. And sometimes goals are super helpful and really inspiring. And again, we talked at the beginning of class about how sometimes we're in a place where we are really focused on just maintaining where we are. We're happy with our current level of fitness. We're happy with the activities that we're doing. And we just want to maintain. And that's totally fine. If down the line you get to a place where you're like, I'm starting to feel a little plateaued, a little like I'm not enjoying exercise as much, that might be a signal that you're ready to set some new performance goals for yourself and sort of re-inspire yourself and find new things to learn and new ways to challenge yourself. And so just check in with yourself every once in a while and see how you're feeling. And either way is totally good. Either approach is excellent. We do not need to be constantly trying to up our performance and up our performance and up our performance. First of all, there's going to be an upper limit, okay? We're not infinite resources. We do not have that capacity. But second of all, that kind of obsessive goal seeking can also be really negative and really demoralizing. And we're not always going to be inspired by the same approaches all the time. So it's important to check in with yourself, you know? If you're feeling really frustrated trying to reach a certain performance goal you've set for yourself, re-examine that goal. See if it actually fits what you want out of exercise right now. And if it doesn't, chuck it away for now. If it's not, Marie Kondo that shit. If it's not bringing you joy, then don't worry about it. All right? Okay. So our next two, I'm going to change one of them. I can do that. All right. So first one is going to be our high knee run, which I've been really enjoying. So it's a cousin of the Flaming Scarlet, but we don't keep our arms in the V for victory, and we're just running in place, trying to get our knees up as high as possible, so above the hip crease if you can. If you're not there yet, then just as high as possible. So we're not trotting, okay? And then second exercise is going to be full jumping jacks. If you have shoulder issues, you may still want to keep your elbows bent. So even when I, extend the jump of my feet, I will generally still keep my elbows bent just because it's a lot easier on my shoulders than having to move my arms so far through space. So if you don't have shoulder issues, go for full jumping jacks. And if you do have shoulder issues and need to modify, that's generally how I do it. So I'm increasing the width of the jump a bit, but still keeping my elbows bent so that I'm not putting as much pressure on my shoulders as they move through space. So there we go, high knee runs and full jumping jacks. Pardon me. This just means that I made sure to fuel myself before class with some food. Always important to make sure that you are appropriately fueling yourself before and after class, because it takes a while to build back those glycogen stores so that you are able to actually fuel a class like this. So I generally recommend that you eat within 1 to 2 hours before you're going to take class. So don't eat in that last hour leading up to class, because there is nothing worse than going into class with like a lump of food in your belly and being like, well, I just feel this bouncing up and down and it's terrible. So for example, for a class like this that starts at 4:30, I generally try to eat sometime between 1:30 and 3:30. Depending on how much I've eaten that day will depend on how big of a fueling that is. But I try to make sure that I'm hydrating in those hours and that I'm fueling myself up. And you really feel the difference. If you have not tried that before, next time you do class, I want you to try that out. I want you to, and you don't have to have like a full meal. It can just be, all right, I'm gonna eat a granola bar at 3 o'clock, and that's totally fine, but test it out. Try having a little something before class and see how it impacts your energy levels, okay? And everybody's body is different, so, I don't have a hard and fast recommendation for what to eat, how much to eat. Everybody's bodies are different and respond to different foods differently. And quite frankly, nutrition sciences are changing all the damn time. And also frequently get caught up in a lot of politics of all things. There are a lot of stories about how at different times, the US government has pushed different diet constructions as healthy, and how a lot of times those diet constructions had nothing to do with actual science, but more to do with, well, we've got a surplus of grain, so we want to make sure everybody's eating a lot of grain every day, or, you know? So I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, I do not offer advice on those topics, and quite frankly, I find that far too often fitness instructors and personal trainers who do combine their practice with that type of diet food work veer into fad diet recommendations and a lot of unhealthy approaches towards food. And you know, it's one of those things that I could go on to a lecture, but I'm not gonna. So all I'm saying is I'm not giving you specifics. All I know is that it does help to give your body a little bit of extra energy before you work out, and that you definitely want to refuel after, because we're using a lot of energy right now and your body's going to need that back. If you want to do a class again tomorrow or go for a run or anything like that, then you need to make sure that you're fueling yourself, okay? And hydrating. Water. I love water so much. Someday I'm going to write an ode to water, and I'll just have a button that just plays that. Or maybe, you know, whenever we get to like affiliate status, we'll have something you can buy with bits. How about? And it's just a jingle about how much I love water. There we go. I like it. I've got plans. Big plans, my friends. All right. Next Tabata, just one exercise, and it's flying chickens. We've done their cousin, the jumping jack. For flying chickens, we jump the feet out in the air, but land them back in their starting position. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. And for our hands, we've got our thumbs at chest height. If you wear a bra, you can just hook your thumbs behind it. And we're just flapping our elbows majestically like that. All right? So, let's get going. Woohoo! All right. First sound did not mean go. Yes, sometimes even I mess that up. I forget the specific sound I'm listening for, and I go, oh, a sound. That must mean that I'm supposed to start doing the thing. And then I go, well, dang it. That was the wrong sound, and now I just lost a bunch of my rest. And trust me, I've been doing this class, I've been taking this class for like 4 or 5 years at this point, and teaching it for, 2 almost. And I still lose track. Every once in a while, I still go, oh, it's time to, no, calm down. You're getting too excited. All right. Flying chickens. A lot of these exercises in the jumping jacks category, I don't talk about form a ton because there's not too many ways for you to go wrong. Obviously, you want to have a little bend in your knees so that you're landing safely. We're flapping our elbows no higher than about shoulder height. The main thing, and I know I talk about it a lot, but that's because it really is helpful. There are a few things that core engagement don't help. There are a few exercises that core engagement doesn't help. And when we're doing something like this in particular, where we're leaping and we're bringing our limbs in a lot of different directions, having our core engaged and helping to stabilize all of those limbs as they move and pull them back to the correct starting position, it really makes a huge difference. So if you haven't been paying attention to that, I'm gonna need you to test that out. All right? Test out just as you're doing those jumps, checking in, making sure that your abdominals are engaged, are working, and see how that changes the feel of the exercise, okay? And maybe you were already doing that, in which case, good job. But if you realize that you weren't, yeah, test it out. See how that feels. That's the one form note that I would give for something like this. It just helps to stabilize our center of gravity, you know, because that's really what we need to make sure is stable. We're moving everything, you know, we're not trying to hold anything in a stable position, but we are trying to make sure that we land in the same location each time, that we're not moving around, that we're not falling over or letting, you know, one leg go really high and the other leg jump really low. And that core engagement is going to help that process, all right? So, thus concludes today's edition of Blanche Reminds You How Awesome Your Core Muscles Are. Tune in next week when I'll probably give the same lecture, because let's face it, core muscles are awesome. I had a client be like, I don't actually know what you mean when you say engaged, and I realized I hadn't really, that's one of those terms that you sort of pick up in various movement disciplines and then don't really think about. So when I say engaged, I mean that they're working. And when I say working, what does a muscle always want to do when it gets activated? It wants to contract, okay? That's what, whether or not the muscle is allowed to contract or whether it has to lengthen is going to depend on the external force. But our muscles' natural predilection, when they get that electrical signal from the brain that says, hey, it's time to go, that muscle goes, cool, and it tries to contract, it tries to shorten itself. And so that's basically what I mean when I say having your core muscles engaged. They're contracted. Engaged, though, is not a full contraction. When I want you to really contract your core, so, you know, for instance, when we're doing boat rocks and we need that really rounded shape, then you want to contract in such a way that is pulling your stomach, your belly button back towards your spine, almost as if somebody tried to punch you in the stomach. That's your natural reaction to it. Versus just, I'm here and I want my abdominal muscles engaged, so they're contracted. I can feel that, but they're not, it's an isometric contraction, okay? If that makes any sense. Oh man, I can't wait to do more educational videos. That's gonna be so fun. Okay. Hey, it's our last one. Yeah. Okay, so our last set of exercises. First is going to be squats with a knee raise. So we're taking that shoulder width position again. Squat down, stand up on one foot and raise the knee, then down and other side, okay? Talk about needing your core engaged. As we're pulling up into this balance, you need to make sure that you're stabilizing everything so that you can go into the balance and then back down into the squat. And then last, but certainly not least, we have mountain climbers. Woo. So, plank position, shoulders directly over those wrists, and you want to maintain that position and keep your butt out of the air no matter how much you're moving, okay? So Mountain climbers are the pinnacle of needing shoulder strength and shoulder stability. They are, that is the apex, that is the summit of that particular mountain of work. So, squats with a knee raise and mountain climbers. And then we will stretch. So here we are in our final set of the day. So what do we want to do? Well, we've already been really trying to make sure that we push ourselves, sprint as best we can in these 20-second intervals. But here in our final interval of the day, that becomes even more important because you know what? We don't have to save that last pocket of energy for any reason anymore. We don't have any more sets coming after this one. So we can afford to really push ourselves, find those last little bits of energy and just leave them here on our mats. All right, so I want you to dig in. I want you to see what you have left. And whatever it is, I want you to give it to me. And I want you to give it to your mat. And I want you to give it to yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, you are awesome. You have just made it through an hour of class. And you should be incredibly proud of yourself. The fact that you're still going. The fact that you have been working so hard. The fact that you have been taking control of your health, of your fitness, of your mobility, that you are joining me here on this fine Wednesday evening and going, all right, you know, there's just a lot of shit happening in the world. It's stressful, it's scary, there's a lot I have to build towards, there's a lot I have to work on. So I am going to take this opportunity to really take care of myself and take care of my health so that I can take care of my community and I can take care of all the things that I want to get done, that I want to improve, all the journeys I want to embark on. You have that power. And it starts right here. It starts with joining me for class and saying, you know what? I want to be able to still be running around after my grandkids or my friends' grandkids when I'm 80. I want to still be summiting that 14er that I love, you know, in 20 or 30 or 40 years' time. I want to make sure that I have the ability to walk upstairs and to, you know, go on bike rides and to not feel like I am weighed down by lack of mobility, by injury, or by fear. And we're here and we're taking these steps for ourselves. And that's huge. That's huge, my friends. So as we head in to our final set of these mountain climbers, I want you to think about all the mountains that you are looking forward to climbing, either literal or metaphorical. And I want you to know without a shadow of a doubt that you will be able to do it. Because I know that you can. Woo! Oh, good job, everybody. Wow. All right. Let's stretch out a bit. Let's do some quad stretching. How about? I haven't done that in a few classes. So, whichever leg you are working, stretching, I want you to fold it so that that heel is on the outside of your hip, and then just pull the heel in as close as you can. I have mine resting against my hip, so that's sort of the goal position. The other leg, I'm just letting the knee fall open, not really doing anything with it, okay? And now, to stretch out that quad, we are just going to slowly lower ourselves back only as far as we need to feel that really intense quad stretch. Slowly, because as we talked about earlier, when we activate the muscle, it wants to contract. And right now, we don't want that. We want it to lengthen, so we want to move slowly. Listen to your body. You may get here and go, whoo, I really feel that position. Cool, stay here, that's fine. Maybe you can make it down to your elbows. Again, awesome, stay here. Or maybe you can make it all the way down to the floor. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that knee is not pulling up from the floor, okay? So just like when we do the scorpion twists, and we want to make sure that our forearm is still connected to the ground, same thing here. We want to make sure that our knee is still connected to the ground, okay? So we have hit our position. We are settled into place, and now we are going to take 4 deep breaths. And as you inhale, I want you to visualize the oxygen going to wherever you're feeling the most intensity of sensation. And as you exhale, I want you to see if you can sink a little more deeply into the stretch. All right, here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Good. All right. Slowly and not necessarily gracefully, return to seated. Don't unfold this leg. Take one hand to the knee, one hand to the ankle. Manually pick it up and move it around, okay? I'm not using my leg's power at all to do that. Bring the other leg to meet it. Shake those knees out a little bit. Then flex your feet and point and flex and point. Circle the ankles first in one direction and then the other direction. All right. And now let's do the other side. So, all the same notes apply for getting into position, for making sure the knee is against the floor, moving slowly into the stretch. You may find that on this side, you can go a little deeper, or you can't go as deep. And either of those is just fine, okay? Listen to what your body is telling you. We are not symmetrical creatures as much as we may wish it. So if you got only halfway to where you were on the other side and then went, I just don't think I can go any farther without just really feeling pain, then don't go any farther, okay? All right, so you have reached whatever degree of depth you can get to in the stretch. And same as before, we're going to take those 4 deep breaths. All right, so here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. All right. Slowly, carefully awkwardly back up to seated. One hand to the knee, one hand to the ankle. Unfold that leg using your hands. Bring the other leg to meet it. Shake those knees out. Flex your feet and point and flex and point. Circle the ankles in one direction and then the other direction. All right. Now I think I want to do a nice spine twist. So let's lay back down on our backs and bring both knees into the chest. And I want you to wrap your arms around them so you're just hugging your knees into your chest. And you can rock back and forth a little bit, massage that lower back. All right, and now we're going to keep one knee into the chest, let the other leg extend long against the floor, and then we're going to take that knee and cross it across our body, this nice twist. Now I'm keeping my arms extended, flat against the floor. I'm keeping my shoulders flat against the floor as well, which can be a little difficult for that back shoulder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my head away from the knee, look in the opposite direction, okay? And we're going to take 4 deep breaths here, all right? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Look back up towards the ceiling. Bring that knee back into your chest. Other knee comes to meet it. Wrap your arms around them again. Rock back and forth. Feeling that nice stretch in the hips. And now, other side. So extend that other leg long against the floor. Cross that knee over to the other side. You may get some pops along your spine. Look away from the knee so that you can keep your shoulders both against the floor. And we're going to take our 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Look back up at the ceiling. Bring that knee back in, other knee to meet it. Rock back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. All right, my friends. And that is a wrap on class. Woo! Oh, that felt good. Good midweek pick-me-up. I hope you felt the same. Make sure you're drinking that water. Look at that. I'm almost done with my water. And as soon as class is done, I'm going to finish it, and then I'm going to pour myself another thing. We need to replenish all that fluid that we lost through sweat, okay? So make sure you're hydrating yourself. Super important, just as important as refueling yourself, okay? But yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. I do love this class. Yeah. And I got used to the echo eventually. Oh man. I'm gonna have to set dress the new space. Ooh. Ooh. Am I about to become someone who cares about home decor? Maybe.
anything's possible. I'm gonna have, you know, the ability to like paint walls if I want to. I have it's certainly not ever been something that I've been able to do. So, wow, that's gonna be kind of crazy. But yeah. So drink in the space, my friends, because we've got only 2 more classes in it. Oh my goodness. 2 more classes this week. We've got on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we've got Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training with objects you can find around the house, which for me, by then, will probably just be that laundry detergent bottle. Maybe my personal training textbook. And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. is the weekend kickoff, which is our awesome strength and stamina focused bodyweight class. And that'll be a wrap on this space. Holy cow. Wow. Well, I do hope that you join me for one or both of those classes. Like I said, there is a non-zero possibility that I'll just crack a beer at the end of Saturday class and toast to this space that started this channel, which I will always be grateful for, and toast to better spaces and new beginnings, which I am also grateful for. Always a good feeling. It's, 2021 is, there's going to be the same share of intensity and anger and protest that we need to do, but there's also some good stuff coming, and that is something that I'm very grateful for. And y'all are a part of that. Yay! Okay, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All those handles will be in my end cards, but they're all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel is where I upload all the VODs from these streams, so you never have to miss a class, even if you can't make the live cast. I upload on Sundays. And once I'm in the new space, there's going to be lots of fun new content going up, so please head over there and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, I do have a coffee account, Blanche Case Fitness. Your donations are always very much appreciated. And if you want to help keep growing this channel, getting us towards Twitch affiliate, we are so close. Oh man, we're getting there. We are getting closer by the day. It's really exciting. But please do follow the channel. Tell your friends, loved ones, coworkers, anyone looking for an awesome class stream. I stream 4 days a week. We have a great time. We have a great little community here. And even if you're not able to work out that day, just come and hang out and chat. It's always a good time. We have some fun folks. So yeah, make sure to hydrate. Make sure to grab some food. Make sure to take a well-deserved shower. And I will see you back here on Friday. Mwah. Have a great night.